is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from Zoom again. This time we are here with Timo of our Mirage. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. It's so awesome to have you here. Your new album, Eclipse, is absolutely killer. Thank you for amazing music to top off this year with. Was there sort of like a preconceived vision of what you wanted Eclipse to sound like, or was this like a very improvisational and experimental process?
I think it was more like an experimental process because most of the album was written during the first lockdown of the Corona time, um, and we just started writing music over the internet because we couldn't meet up in the studio or something. So we just started writing music over Discord, and we just went for whatever we wanted to do. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mention that. Like, I've heard a lot of people say that, like, oh, writing over the internet and whatnot lacks its organic nature and whatnot. But think about, like, with platforms like Discord or Twitch or whatnot, like, it almost seemed like a lot of doors opened up. Did maybe in these circumstances, did this open up maybe new ideas for our Mirage that we wouldn't see in, like, albums such as Unseen Relations or Lifeline?
Yeah, I mean, during that time, it was easier to write with different people. The first two albums I mostly wrote alone here in the studio with my bandmates, but in the Corona time, I was able to write music together with other musicians, maybe from other bands as well, that gave more inspiration. And I could work with people that are living on the other side of Germany or in another country and stuff. So I think it was like a big opportunity to try new things and to have different approaches. And I think this actually made our album Eclipse how it is now. And I think it would have been different if I just did it normally.
Yeah, definitely. And that is like that's going to be the biggest what if question. How different would this album have sounded if the pandemic wasn't happening, right?
Yeah, yeah, I don't even know how it would how different it would sound, but
Yeah. It's the most
I think it's just perfect how it is right now.
yeah, it's the most rhetorical question in music. Um
Yeah.
when it and being that like, I felt many different emotions when listening to this album. When you open up with Awakening and then you go to a track like Vicious Cycle or to Suffocating to, the title track Eclipse to a track like Remedy, there's many different vibes and emotions behind it. Is it fair to say that there were many different emotions that were felt with the making of this album, or being that it was during a time of uncertainty, maybe there was an underlying emotion that applied to the making of every song?
Well, I think in the beginning when we started working on the album, that was right at the beginning of the first lockdown because um, I think I started with a little sad vibe in the beginning because we had a tour going on in March of 2020, and then it got canceled and everyone had to go into lockdown, and so I was really down at that time, and I started writing music, and at the beginning I started to implement that into the music to have like a more melancholic vibe, but later on I felt okay, it it's working out pretty well, so and yeah, so we decided to put a song like Summertown as well on it, which is like a super happy pop punk song, Um, but yeah, I think it was just a roller coaster of emotions.
Definitely. As a vocalist, have you always needed to hear the music before you come up with lyrics, or has there ever been a time where maybe like a lyrical idea could help dictate the sound of the song?
It's always instrumental first, and then I get inspired for the vocals and the lyrics. Because most of the time I hear my instrumental, I'm like, okay, the vocal melody has to go like this, and then I write the lyrics on the vocal melody, and it takes some time to get the right words into into the pattern I have in my head, and but it works out really well. It has always worked like this for me. So yeah.
Does the music have to? like sort of trigger or hit a specific part of you in order for you to think of lyrics in a way?
Definitely, definitely. I'm also recording and producing the music of Our Mirage. So if the instrumental is not giving me that certain gut feeling where it's like, oh, that hurts, that's good, then I don't feel inspired um, for writing emotional vocals. And I think, yeah, to have emotional vocals in our music is really important, and to bring a certain emotion with the vocals as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Being emotions and that creative energy, it's almost like lightning. It's gone as quick as it could come in a way. Do you find that maybe the longer you work on something, the harder it is to sort of like maintain that emotion that initially sparked that idea?
Um, I've never had that because when I start to write vocals for a song, I have a certain feeling in the beginning. I'm recording it, and if it's good, then I just keep going, and it's just flowing really really well. Like this, in most if if I finish a song, I have to have a great day for it. It's like if I start recording a song and it's like just flowing out and everything is just smooth and it just like it's always like it always had has how do you say it in English? It always has been like this. It feels like it's supposed to be like this. Then it goes fast and quick, and I keep the emotions. But sometimes I just record. I don't feel it. Everything sounds shitty. I hate my vocals, and I just stop and do something else. So, um, if I don't have the feeling instantly, I'm just stopping and can't keep going. So, um, if I have a certain feeling and the right feeling, everything just flows out
Do you
and comes
need
by itself.
do you need to kind of like put yourself in a specific place in order to cultivate that feeling in a way, or does the emotions and the feeling just come out of nowhere for you?
Um, Sometimes it's just there. It's already there. Maybe I'm in a in the right mood for it already. But sometimes when I'm done working, I'm a music producer. I record other bands as well. So sometimes I'm really stressed out at the end of the day, but I still have to record something for my own band. Sometimes it's just not like this in the beginning, so I have to push myself a little into that to try to get sad or the emotion that the song needs. But most of the times, it's just there.
Hmm.
When I hear the music, I feel it, and then it's just going.
Hmm. And you mentioned you're also a producer, and there have been plenty of times where like there are great producers who've never been in a band or have never made their own music, but they could have that ear and that heart where they could really apply to it. For you, is being a producer like on a technical level very different from being a songwriter as well?
um, I think it just goes hand in hand. um, Songwriting and music production is really close together, I think, because if you do one of the things not right, it's the song is not going to turn out great. So yeah, it's just it always has been like this for me. My whole life, I've been recording, producing, and writing my own music all the time, and I've done it for many bands as well. Like they come in with a song, I'm like, okay, we need to change this, and this, change the vocal melodies and stuff. So it's just I don't know. It's just one thing for me.
Yeah. Well, I've interviewed like for instance like Logan Mader, who played with Machine Head and also was in Once Human, but he's a fantastic producer and mixer and engineer and all that. And he says sometimes like the producer is almost kind of like the camp counselor of the band.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I was interviewing Noah from Bad Omens as well one time, and he too also produces a lot of bands outside of his band. For you, is it a completely different mindset, or like do you have maybe a different attachment when you're working on another artist's music as opposed to your own band in a way? Does it resonate with you on a different level, or does the same method behind the madness apply to production for either your band or other bands?
think for me it's exactly the same. I'm handling every song that I'm recording with a band like it would be a release for my own band. So I'm trying to get the best out of the song, and if I feel comfortable with the song and I like the song and like every aspect of the song, I'm happy. And most like I'd say 95%, the band is also super happy with this. It's like this is what we want, and yeah. So I just think it's the same thing. Yeah, because the band is representing my work as well. So if they have a great song and a great mix and everything just is perfectly together, then it's just like better than any ad I could put onto Instagram or Facebook. It's yeah.
That
I think it's just yeah how I would handle my own release as well.
Well, you led me perfectly into the next question because this could apply to our Mirage or another band. Is it better if everybody is really on the same page and everybody does have the same feeling towards a specific song or an album? Or could all of you maybe feeling differently or maybe being in your own worlds maybe actually help enhance the song in a way?
I think being on the same page there is definitely the better way of going because then you don't have discussions that maybe disturb the creative workflow and yeah, I think being on the same page there is always good. Sometimes you have to discuss if this is better or the other part, and then but most of the times I have good reasons why I think this way is good, and but there it's going deeper into like songwriting techniques and all that stuff, and what the listener is used to listen what the listener is used to, and what the listener wants to hear. So, but yeah, being on the same page always helps with staying creative.
Yeah, of course. Do you prefer when songwriting to be kind of like alone in the studio and isolation is such a great feel for creativity. Do you prefer to be like alone in your own element when working on music or do you prefer to be in the company of other musicians to help with the idea?
I think it always depends on who is there with me. Um, I have my best friend, for example. He's the guitarist of my second band, Alleviate. He's just an amazing guitarist, like probably the best guitarist I know. And when we are sitting together here in the studio, it's just such a creative process. We like push each other up in so many ways that everything we touch together is going to be fucking amazing, Um, and but sometimes you have people there that are not as creative, and then it's just like one-sided, like so I give more creative input than the other person. um, then I would prefer to work alone in that case.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
I wanted to circle back to talking about lyrics a little bit. Do you want the music of our Mirage to be open to interpretation, or do you kind of try to convey the listener into the meaning of the music as much as the music itself?
I think the lyrics are open for interpretation, definitely. There's many ways of
Sorry.
how to see yeah, no problem. There's many ways of how to understand the lyrics and how to interpret it for yourself. um, I always try to keep everything open, and so that you can like feel it more in a specific part of your life. Maybe something that you are going through right now. um, it's it should just be there for everyone, not just for one specific person that's just experiencing that one little thing there. But I want the people to identify with the music in many different ways. So um, I think, yeah, definitely open for interpretation there.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe a listener's interpretation of it or the way that they resonate with it can maybe add another layer of context to the song?
Yeah, I've experienced that uh, many times with the reactors on YouTube, for example. And then they listen to the song and see the music video too, and they're like, oh, okay, so this is about this, and that's why he's singing that. And and then I was like, okay, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it's cool. So I'm yeah, like people feel everything on a different level, especially like in like for example, like the reactors there. It's like the best way how to the best way to see how people react and interpret the music and the lyrics and stuff. So yeah, from this side, I definitely um, get that.
Where in Germany is Our Mirage based out of at the moment?
In the western part, close to Cologne.
Okay. Oh, so northwest in a way.
Yeah, yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
because I've interviewed a lot of bands from different regions in Germany. Like I've interviewed like Obscura and Dark Fortress that's in like Bavaria. I've noticed that
Yeah.
The Bavarian Forest has all the black metal bands, but I've noticed that there's like a lot of metalcore bands that originate from Stuttgart, and then Berlin is a very diverse scene. The current scene that you're involved in outside of Cologne, how has the scene for Armirage been? Is there like an underground scene that's thriving that you sort of cut your teeth in, or were you always preferring to like go outside of where you originated from?
Actually, the part where we are from is probably the most crowded part in whole Germany. It's like a bunch of towns being so close together that you can just like go from town to town on one road without ever leaving towns. You know, it's like just crazy, like super smashed together. So we have probably the biggest scene here in Germany on in this part of Germany. So actually you can play shows everywhere and go on shows everywhere every day, every weekend, for example. Um, so when we started, we didn't have to go far away to play shows or whatsoever, but we play shows all over Germany for sure, because going on tour is important for us. But yeah, we're playing a lot of shows here in this area, and we don't have to go very far to get like a yeah, a packed venue, you know.
Yeah, it's you could go on a whole tour in just your own city.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of
Yep.
like
And I saved the most difficult question for last if you're ready.
okay.
Yep. How do you know when you're finished with a song, whether it's production or with your own band?
um when I listen to it and I feel like there's nothing more I can add. Like I'm listening to the song from finish to last, and like, okay, my mind is not adding anything, because for me it's like when I listen to music, I just hear things that are not there yet, and I just, okay, then I have to add it here, and then after I listen to the song, I'm like, yeah, my mind is empty while listening to it. It's just the song, and this is how it's supposed to be. Then I know it's finished.
Fair enough. That was a very good technical answer, I must say. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today and for such an awesome conversation. Is there just anything else with Armirage that you would like to promote for Eclipse in terms of tours or new music that we could be expecting?
Um, well, we just released the album last week, so new music is already out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going on Germany tour in late April, together with a band called Never Back Down. It's also a band from this area. Um, and yeah, keep streaming our album on Spotify, YouTube, Deezer, Apple Music, wherever you want to do it.
Yeah.
And
Can you come to the
yeah,
U.S. one day?
we are hoping to do that. It's hard, because in the US, like payment is not that good, as in Germany, for example. Um, but yeah, we are trying to do it, and as soon as we do it, we're gonna go everywhere.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Our Mirage. Check out Eclipse if you haven't already. This is Alex from Heaven, New York. We will see you next time.